ERA of 2.30.
That's
And
not that bad.
it's not that bad at all because it was only through 11 games.
Yeah.
And
Also,
the offense backed him.
what'd you say?
The offense definitely backed him.
Yeah, and I was.
And then you get in the postseason and it's a 5.12 of an ERA.
Yeah, that's the part that I'm kind of like, and I forgot. Somebody said something about Greinke, and I'm starting to have like second thoughts about what I said. I said that I'd rather have David Price because he's a lefty and he's used to the American League. But then I went and looked at his stats, and he's only had like 3 or 4 out of the, I don't know, I forgot how many seasons he's been in, but he's only had like 3, 4, maybe 5 seasons where he could be considered an ace. And it was last year, 2012, when he won the Cy Young.
Greinke pitches good, but he gets the offensive support too. There's a couple games where he did have to carry the Dodgers, but the last, from 2012 down, he's won over 13 games, either 13 or over 7 times in his career. And I think, and he pitched in the American League for 8 years out of the rest, and he owns a career 3.35, which doesn't look too flashy, but Greinke gets outs.
Yeah. Well, David Price, he had one. Would you consider a 15-win season an A season?
I would. I mean, when you have starters win, I think if you have a starter winning over 12 games, I would consider that over 12 with an under 3 ERA. I would consider that an A season.
All right. Well, David Price had 1, 2, 3, 4. He had 5 games. He had 5 games, 5 seasons with more than 12 wins. But the year that he had exactly 12 wins, he had a 3.49 ERA. So, really, you could say he had 4 ace seasons.
Either one, I would have either taken either one, because they're both great pitchers, but you never know how it's going to go. We might be talking next year, either Greinke would have been great or Price is the worst contract we ever. It's either going to be Price did great or Price absolutely screwed us.
Yeah. But the problem that I had with Greinke, though, is he's been used to the National League, and I don't remember how long he played in Kansas City for and the Brewers for. So I think he's gotten, and when he started doing really good, it was with the Dodgers, and I don't know. I don't think he would be good in the American League, especially in the American League East with all the power hitters. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, definitely. But everybody's putting all this burden on Price, and what's going to happen after Price is what I'm worried about. What's going to happen with Buckholz, Porcello? I know Rodriguez can pitch. What about Kelly? I know Kelly's a favorite in Boston, but everybody just remembers the end of last year for him. What about before that?
Yeah, if you kind of look at an overall thing, he was 10-15, or maybe that was Joe Kelly, or maybe that was Rick Porcello rather. But
I see Kelly as a good bullpen arm, and I see Brian Johnson or Owens as more of a fifth starter.
Yeah, well, remember Joe Kelly? He used to only throw. Last year he went 10-6. So anyway, I think that last season when he was sent down to AAA for a while. They were trying to fix something, and I believe he doesn't throw that many pitches. I think he only throws a fastball, a curveball, and a changeup maybe. And I remember where he was trying to throw 3 straight fastballs in the beginning of the season, and before they sent him down, and he was just trying to go fastball, fastball, fastball. And you're like, no, you can't do that because they saw your fastball the first 2 times. They're going to time it this time, even though you have one of the fastest fastballs. So, and then when he came back up, he started throwing his curveball more, and he started playing smart, not just, I'm going to throw wicked hard.
I mean, when you think about it, Kelly has a great arm, and our staff, when you look at our staff, we only have 2 or 3 guys that know how to pitch. The other guys just know how to throw fast.
Yeah. I'm guessing you're assuming David Price, Eduardo, and I don't know who you're talking about with the third guy. I would think it would be Joe Kelly after he started doing this, but then you might be talking about Clay Buchholz, so...
I mean, maybe the 2 or 3 is Price and Rodriguez, but I don't know if I really count Buchholz because we haven't really seen much of him the last couple of years. I mean, that 2013 season was great, and then it seems like whenever he has a good year, he gets hurt. Whenever he has a bad year, he pitches the whole year. So, yeah. I think we need to make a decision on Buchholz this year.
I honestly would have liked to see them trade Clay Buchholz for somebody like Tyson Ross and maybe give him some prospects. I was talking to somebody yesterday and they actually came up with a good idea, and he either came up with it or I forgot what it was. I think he said it, but anyway, he said we should trade. He said that he doesn't see Jackie Bradley Jr. at the end of the season in a Red Sox uniform, and we were talking about maybe trading him and Clay Buchholz for somebody like Tyson Ross, like somebody who's not an ace, but he's like a very good number 2.
Yeah.
So it would like add, I don't know, like Tyson Ross or Shelby, maybe not Shelby Miller, maybe him. Somebody like those guys.
I mean, I see Jackie Bradley Jr. with us, but not with us, but I think Jackie Bradley Jr. is done. I think that it was a fluke. I don't know how it happened. I mean, we can obviously tell that he has the potential to hit that way, but who knows what's going to happen when he gets a full year. You got to remember the time that he was hitting was we were playing a lot of teams that were out of contention, and it was roster call-ups, and we were facing a lot of guys that shouldn't be there and should be in AA or AAA.
Yeah, I see the point on that. If you can, at the trade deadline, but also, and I think we were talking about Alan Craig too, they should maybe try to showcase him a little bit before the trade deadline, and you could maybe try to put up because you have Chris Young, and you can put Chris Young in maybe right field or left field, and then you like put Mookie Betts back in center field, and then you trade Jackie Bradley Jr., and you could go and try to trade for another a good number 2.
Yeah. I mean, I think a package of Buchholz, Bradley Jr., and some prospects, I think is more than enough. Maybe a little bit less. Maybe I think a little bit more than enough to land somebody.
Well, I think
not a lot of names are coming to my mind right now, but really one is maybe Taijuan Walker, maybe. Colorado's got a lot of guys out there that they want to get rid of.
Yeah, and you're paying Alan Craig, I forgot how much it was. I think it was somewhere around like $10 million. And you're paying him $10 million to go play in AAA, and he's not.
Yeah, they need to get rid of Craig.
So, if you have to deal with getting rid of Jackie Bradley Jr. and a really injury guy of Clay Buchholz, I think why not go get another starting pitcher.
Even if we could go get him for a young arm. I mean, we flipped Andrew Miller for Eduardo Rodriguez. That was probably the steal of the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Because Rodriguez has come up and pitched like that number 2 or number 3, and who knows what he's going to do this year. He could rocket into that number 2, or he could stay low. But either way, he's going to pitch, and he's going to get the innings.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I don't know what they're going to do with... I think Alan Craig was like... Did you like the Lackey deal or no?
Lackey deal. I was at the game a couple nights before they traded Lackey, and he pitched like a normal John Lackey game. I think it goes all the way back to last offseason, where there are actually 2 spring trainings ago, if you count this one. I think that we shouldn't have screwed around. We should have offered John Lester his money and gave it to John Lester. And then if we wouldn't have done that, I still think we shouldn't have traded Cespedes. We probably could have hung on to him and gotten more from him at the trade deadline than we got in Rick Porcello, because I didn't like that trade. Porcello wasn't going to pitch good here because he pitches to contact, and it's a small ballpark. If you pitch to contact and you don't get ground balls, we saw what happened last year.
Yeah, I think the Red Sox theory was he was behind Verlander and Scherzer, and he was 13 rather, and I don't know. But with the Lester thing, I think we kind of dodged on a bullet thing, because he actually had a losing record last season. He was 12-13, and I think his ERA, he didn't have as good of a season as he did the year before.
Yeah.
So
I think that Lester wanted to come back here, but we kind of screwed ourselves, and we didn't when we kept screwing around with him, and we had to trade him. But
I honestly don't think we had to trade him at all. We got rid of Gomes and Lester for Cespedes, who didn't like it here, and supposedly he was a cancer in the locker room. And John Lester went 11-12 with a 3.34 ERA, and I believe that's one of his higher ERAs. Wait.
Yeah, but would you rather have Yoenis Cespedes, who has been proven to be able to hit and play defense, for at least another year, or would you rather have Hanley Ramirez, who can't play defense and is a nuisance that we have to move everybody around that has been proven to be able to play?
Yeah. I think at the time when... Well, also, Hanley Ramirez was known to be injury-prone, but I think at the time... I was listening to WEI, and somebody made this good point, was the owners wanted Ben Cherington to sign Pablo Sandoval, and Ben Cherington had a personal attachment to Hanley Ramirez, because when he was working under Theo, and they traded him, Ben Cherington didn't like that they traded Hanley Ramirez in 2003, I think it was. So he kind of wanted Hanley back, and then so they signed 2 third basemen, and Hanley. We were lucky that Hanley said that he was going to play left field, but then that didn't end up working out. So I think at the time, they, in theory, they did the best idea, but what it ended up being, it wasn't the best.
Who else was in that free agent class that year?
That we signed in last season?
Yeah.
Shoot, I just remember 2014 they traded Lester and Gomes, and then they traded Cespedes during the off season.
really nothing big was in that last year. Burke Badenhop was out there.
Oh, you're talking about the players that were available?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out who else was out there that would have been a better option. Billy Butler was out there, but I wouldn't have brought him in. Nelson Cruz, I think that we could have gotten someone who could have played with Nelson out there in left field, Nelson Cruz.
Yeah. But didn't he take steroids and stuff?
He did do roids, but I think he's still on roids just because he doesn't play for us. Jason Hamill, J.J. Hardy.
Yeah, there probably were better options, but I'm gonna stick by this marketing thing because that's kind of what they need. Like, not what they needed, but from a marketing standpoint and from a business standpoint, they can make so much money off of. Yeah, they make so much money off Pablo because they saw what the Giants were doing.
I'm pretty sure Junko Gone came over after Pablo signed. Yeah, we had Justin Rogers. I'm really not seeing anybody good out there other than a couple people. Because there really was not that many people. James Shields was out there. I'm happy that we didn't sign him.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at here and Bobby Abreu, he retired, so that's not. Melky Cabrera was. I'm pretty sure he was.
I'm pretty sure that he was on that roid list.
Oh. Mike Karp was, and Nelson Cruz. Oh, and that Ruby De La Rosa trade, I didn't like it.
I had no good feelings for that trade. Ruby was going to be good. I didn't really care about Alan Webster. I wanted Webster gone. But I thought Ruby would have been good out of the bullpen.
Yeah. Well, wasn't he trying to be a starter too, or like the Red Sox were trying to make him a starter?
He was originally a starter, but I think he would have been a better bullpen arm.
Oh, wait, Adam Dunn retired, so I can't see him.
It's just something's just irritating me about the off season right now. Is that Greg Holland is sitting out there after having Tommy John surgery. He's just sitting there waiting for somebody to sign him, and he's only 30. Him and Aaron Crow were one of the most best relief pitchers a couple of years ago. I think, and Greg Holland was good last year until he got hurt. I think that we should give Greg Holland a 1-year deal.
Yeah, wait, Greg. Greg. Oh shit, I spelled that wrong. Greg. Alright. Does he have one G in... I don't know. But anyway. And, well, Adam Lynn was one, but we weren't looking for a first baseman. And... Alexio Gondo, do you think he was kind of a waste? Or do you think he was...
He had the potential. being good, but I think that he was all right, but he didn't pitch as good as he could have pitched. I think that we should have gave a little bit of money back to Peyton Hobb.
Yeah. Throughout Colby Rasmus was a free agent, and Irvin Santana was, but then he did that thing after he got signed anyway. And then, but then you see people that we kind of like said, like we're done with you, and then they go and they do great. And an example would be like Anthony Rizzo, and I believe somebody told me that DeGrom was with us at some point. Oh no, DeGrom wasn't with us. We had the option of trading for Jacob DeGrom for like a backup AA catcher, and we declined it.
I think a good example is Shane Victorino and Mike Napoli.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Shane Victorino, I didn't like him, to be honest, because he wouldn't play in the rain, and he wouldn't play during this time, and I don't know. And Mike Napoli, I mean, he batted like 190, and then Farrell was asked, when he was a free agent, he asked, would you ever consider requesting to sign Mike Napoli? And he said, no, because I don't want to send my first baseman out there to strike out every single time.
Yeah, that is a pretty good point, but Hanley has his fair share of strikeouts, too.
Yes, I would agree with you on that, but at least he batted over 200.
That is very true.
And I don't know, and I was gonna talk the Shane Victorino. Oh yeah, Shane Victorino. At first I didn't like him, but then when he cried when he found out that he got traded, I really felt bad for what I said, because I remember I kind of said something to him on Instagram, and kind of was basically like telling him that he should be playing and you're getting paid this money, and then he kind of blocked me, so then I felt kind of bad.
Did he block you?
Yeah, I have been blocked by him and John Lester. John Lester was on Twitter though. I basically tweeted at John Lester saying, you're in it for the money, you don't care about Red Sox, and yada yada yada. And yeah, I kind of regret saying that. Yeah, my goal wasn't to get blocked either, because the thing was I was hearing on ESPN that he was responding to like hate, so I was like, oh, this is the time that I can get a response. It didn't work.
Yeah, you got a response with a block.
Yeah, and Shane Victorino, I don't know. I think he really liked it here, and I don't know. And then some players actually won't sign with Boston because Boston fans are supposedly like one of the we're like hard on our players. So like when you're doing good, we'll praise you, but when you're doing bad, we're gonna basically like talk bad about you.
We'll let them know it.
What?
I said we'll definitely let them know it.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that David Price, I don't know, he said originally that he didn't want to come here, but then obviously money made him come.
Yeah.
And Johnny Gomes signed with a Japanese team or a Japan team, so there's kind of no like hope in him coming here. And yeah, Johnny Gomes now plays for the the Rakuten Golden Eagles.
The Rakuten Golden Eagles. That's what Tanaka came over from.
I have no clue how that works, but so you know how with like Byung Ho Park and Tanaka and Daisuke, you had to pay like a release like tax thing.
Yeah.
Does it work if you are from America and then you go play for them? Do you still have to pay a tax to get them back?
I'm pretty sure. I've read up on that. I'm pretty sure that once you leave the country and want to come back, it's basically you don't have to get permission or anything. I'm pretty sure it's just because you've been in the country before. I think that you're free to sign with a team. A lot of with the Cubans and the Japanese are because they need to pay their way into the country. That's really the big thing, is because they don't have a green card.
Yeah.
And I don't think that they can do their job without having legally being able to be in the country.
Yeah. I was looking at some more free agents, and I found that Franklin Morales is still available, and did Alexei Ramirez like come out of retirement already?
Who?
Didn't Alexei Ramirez like say he was gonna retire, and then now he like
signed a 1-year deal with the Padres.
Yeah.
And he might retire after this year.
Yeah. Wait, Tim Lincecum's a free agent still?
Yeah, the Giants don't want him to come back.
Honestly, I know that didn't he struggle the last 2 years?
Yeah, he hasn't really pitched to his potential.
I think the Red Sox should probably sign him for like wicked cheap and have him pitch in AAA, and then if he starts to do good again, have him come back up. But don't give him a lot of money.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I think that him, maybe Aaron Crow, and I think even Greg Holland on a 1-year deal. I think it would be good to have them just because of their potential.
Yeah. Louis Hitman. Oh, yeah, there was this player, and it was like 2011 or 2010, and I don't know if you remember Alex Gonzalez.
Adrian Gonzalez?
No, Alex.
Alex Gonzalez.
Yeah, Alex. He played shortstop.
Yeah, I think I remember him.
From what I remember, he wasn't a good hitter, but he could play defense.
That's basically Steven Drew.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I was gonna go with that. Because we kind of have Bogarts. And then Grady Sizemore.
I think he was a horrible deal. The only reason he was there is because John Farrell wanted him there. He shouldn't have been on that team past spring training.
Yeah, well, he's a free agent still, so obviously you don't like him. And then Austin Jackson still a free agent, and Delman Young is a free agent. A lot of people that you could probably give a little bit of a second chance to. Like, I don't want to try to make sound like we should do 2013 over again, where we just gave a bunch of people second chances. But if you sign a couple people and put them in AAA,
I think that the Red Sox are at a good position. I think that we're gonna be young and we're gonna be good. And I don't think we're World Series material right now, but I think we're definitely gonna make some noise in the playoffs.
yeah. Shane Victorino still hasn't signed with anybody yet?